Welcome back, everybody. It's Latin Fight Picks. Today we will be going over the fight card for UFC 323 Dvalishvilli versus Yan. As usual, we will be going over the fights from the first fight to the main card to the main fight, main event. So let's start. First fight, Mohamed Naimov versus Marian Santos. Mohamed Naimov, 5'9", 70-inch reach. Marian Santos, 5'7", 72-inch reach. Very similar in size. 31 years old for Naimov, 25 years old for Santos. I went back and forth on this one. I had originally picked Santos. I thought he was, strong enough and good striking enough to win a decision on this. But the more I looked at it, the more I thought about that Francis fight where I thought Santos lost. I think Naima was going to be big enough and strong enough to some wrestling with him and to possibly hurt him and steal some rounds. He is the underdog. Naima is going to be the pick by decision. Mansour Abdul Malik versus Antonio Tricoli. Malik, 6'2", 79.5-inch reach, 28 wins. Tricoli, 6'5", 80-inch reach, 34 wins. Tricoli's a hard guy to fight. He's long, lanky, he's pretty durable. Last fight, he was pretty durable until he just got gassed, I think. I think he's dangerous. I think Malik's not nearly as good as they think he is, or anybody thinks he is. I don't think he's that good. I think that he's a really strong, big, strong guy, and but I think they're setting him up to win this. I wanted to pick Tricoli as a possible upset by sub. I mean, there is that opportunity to do for that. He's probably the right bet because he's like plus 700 or whatever it is. But Malik, they've done everything to set this guy up to win. So they're picking the guy that they think that he can beat. So Malik's going to be the pick by KO. Tricoli might be the bet by sub, or you can bet both and then cover yourself. Even though I think Malik is not a great bet even by KO from the odds. Yeah, so Malik's going to be the pick. He should win. They're expecting him to win. They're setting him up to win. Otherwise, Tricoli, if he comes in great shape, catches him, and Malik can't get caught. He saw him get caught. And Malik's going to be the pick, but not at minus 1,200. Moving on, Iwa Baranuski, 6 feet tall, 73.5-inch reach, 6 wins, 0 losses, 27 years old. Ibo Aslan, 6'3", 77.5-inch reach, 14 wins, 3 losses, 29 years old. I'm not a fan of Ibo Aslan. He goes in there, starts slugging, starts throwing. I think he's tough, but I don't think he's got a granite chin. And I think Baranuski, I think he's a little too small for the division. I think a little too short, but he's very stout, very strong, power punches, good on the ground. We haven't seen him at this level of competition, but then again, Aslan is the lowest level competition. So Baranuski by sub. Edson Barboza versus Jalen Turner. Edson Barboza, 5'11", 75-inch reach, 24 wins for 13 losses, 39 years old. Jalen Turner, 6'3", 77-inch reach, 14 wins, 9 losses, 30 years old. Age. Barboza's slowing down, he's getting older. His key advantage was his height and length. Jalen Turner takes away all that. Jalen Turner is a little chinny, but then again, so is Barboza because of his age. He's getting a little older. But Turner is a little chinny. If he gets caught, he could get finished. But Jalen Turner by KO will be the pick. Marvin Vittori versus Bruno Ferreira. Marvin Vittori, 6 feet tall, 74-inch reach, 19 wins, 9 losses, 1 draw, 32 years old. Bruno Ferreira, 5'10", 72-inch reach, 14 wins, 2 losses, 33 years old. Same age, surprisingly, with Vittori having so much more experience. Fought the top level guys, going to be a little bigger, going to be a little longer. They're both a little slow. Ferreira wins by KO or sub. Vittori doesn't lose by KO or sub. I got to go with Marvin Vittori. He was the underdog. Now he's the slight favorite. I'm going to go with Vittori by decision. Nazim Sedikov versus Faris Yam. Sedikov, 5'10", 69-inch reach, 11 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 31 years old. Faris Yam, 6'1", 75-inch reach, 17 wins, 4 losses, 28 years old. Sadikov's the guy who's always going to be able to absorb a lot of punishment, and then he's going to wait for that one shot, one kick to KO you. And the guy has been winning, but I think Faris Yam is going to be a little too high level for that. I think he can take a great shot. He's got great defense. He's going to have the height and reach advantage. It's going to keep him at distance. I got to go with ZM on this one. I don't think he can take him out. Kosetikov is tough. ZM by decision. Going on to the prelims. Those were the early prelims. Macy Barber versus Karine Silva. Macy Barber, 5'5", 65-inch reach, 14 wins, 2 losses, 27 years old. Karine Silva, 5'5", 67-inch reach, 19 wins, 5 losses, 31 years old. I didn't like what I saw with Karine Silva against Araujo, and I thought that she didn't think things, she's not aggressive enough and she's not intense enough. And Macy Barber is all those things. So yeah, Macy Barber's not going to get subbed. I don't think she's going to get outstruck. And it's going to be a decision victory for Macy Barber. And I think she's going to put a little bit of a beat down on Silva. And she's going to win a decision. Terrence McKinney versus Chris Duncan. Terrence McKinney, 5'10", 73 and a half inch reach, 17 wins, 7 losses, 31 years old. Chris Duncan, 5'10", 71 inch reach, 14 wins, 2 losses, 32 years old. If I'm going through this a little quick, is because I actually did this whole video and I realized it wasn't filming, wasn't recording. So I'm just going over it. Here's the thing: Terrence McKinney is either gonna beat you by KO or decision, and he loses by KO or decision. And he's very explosive, but he gets into the later rounds, he's not so explosive. Chris Duncan, you know, the guy has been knocked out one time, but ever since then, he has been really, he's tough and durable anyway, but he did get knocked down one time and can't come back to win. And yeah, he's showing that he's very dangerous on the ground. And looking at this fight's not going to go the distance. I got to go with Chris Duncan on this one, even though McKinney's hard to bet for or against, because he is so unpredictable. He can just he can beat anybody and he can lose against anybody. So, but I think Chris Duncan is the favorite for a reason. I think he's going to win by submission. Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. Grant Dawson's 5'10", 72-inch reach, 23 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 31 years old. Manuel Torres, 5'10", 73-inch reach, 16 wins, 3 losses, 30 years old. Pick Grant Dawson. Think Grant Dawson should win. He's going to keep taking this guy down and holding him down and grinding him out. Manuel Torres does have the ability to knock this guy out. But Manuel Torres is always a taller guy, the longer guy. But in this case, he really won't be. He'll be roughly the same size, which worries me for him, because I would like to pick him to win by KO in an amazing upset. But Dawson's a hard guy to fight. And if he can, and he's going to keep continually taking you down. And that's the thing. I went back and forth on this one. Dawson should win. Right? He should win by sub. But even though I don't think Manuel Torres should win, I think he's going to win by KO. So I'm taking a dog shot here for KO, Manuel Torres catching Dawson. I don't know why. Maybe don't follow this bet. But Torres is going to be the pick by KO. Moving on to the main card. Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. Blachowicz, 6'2", 78-inch reach, 29 wins, 11 losses, 1 draw, 42 years old. Guskov, 6'3", 76-inch reach, 18 wins, 3 losses, 33 years old. Age, and I don't know if he's going to still have the same oomph in there, right? They're going to be roughly about the same size. And Guskov is good, he's talented, and he likes winning by KO, but guess what? Blachowicz isn't the kind of guy you can KO. So, I mean, it's going to be close on the feet. Blachowicz can take punishment and he can return. Guskov is going to be a really good striker. He is the favorite in this one. He was the favorite. I think now he's a slight underdog. But Blachowicz has got something in his pocket, and that is if Jan can take him down, there's a chance that he can win and steal these rounds. So I kind of went to Guskov, and then the more I thought about it, even though he's 42 years old, I think he can still pull off a decision. So I'm going to go with Blachowicz, Jan, for a decision. Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. Henry Cejudo, 5'4", 64-inch reach, 16 wins, 5 losses, 38 years old. Peyton Talbot, 5'10", 78.5-inch reach, 10 wins, 1 loss, 27 years old. Cejudo's going to be way smaller. He's not going to be as strong. Peyton Talbot, just you know, a bull in there, very strong. He's getting better with his takedown defense and his get-up game. He did lose against for who was it? He lost against Barcelos. Even though I picked Talbot to win that, I actually had a bet on Barcelos and I won that bet. After the first round, I thought this is going to happen. So Talbot did learn a few lessons and went and beat Lima. I think Lima should have won that fight. He could have won that fight, but I think he made some bad choices. Talbot likes to break people. I don't think he's going to break Cejudo. So that's going to go out the window. So now, can Cejudo take him down enough to control him enough to steal these rounds? You know, I've been betting on Cejudo against these top level guys, and the decisions have been going against him, but the guy's not getting finished. Talbot should win this, but again, I'm going with Cejudo by decision. Maybe I don't really like Talbot, I don't know, but yeah, at 38 years old, he's too old, but I just don't think Talbot's going to be champ. Let's put it that way. So Cejudo, smaller, older, going to win by decision. Let's see what happens. Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. Brandon Moreno, 5'7", 70-inch reach, 23 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws, 31 years old. Tatsuro Taira, 5'7", 70-inch reach, 17 wins, 1 loss, 25 years old. I think Brandon Moreno was the underdog. Now he's a slight favorite. I like Taira. I think he surprised me a few times. I think he's really strong, he's durable, but he's not going to be so much longer and lankier and taller than a lot of his opponents, which he has been until now. I think Brandon Moreno is still really good, and I think he was a champ for a reason. I got to go with Brandon Moreno on this one. Yeah, 31 years old, he's still young. He's still as good as ever. So Brandon Moreno is going to be the pick. I'm going with him by decision. Alexander Pantoja versus Joshua Van. Pantoja, 5'5", 67.5-inch reach, 35 years old. Joshua Van, 5'5", 65-inch reach, 15 wins, 2 losses, 24 years old. Joshua Van's always improving by leaps and bounds. So he's going to be the kind of guy that you got to be careful of. But Pantoja at 35, excuse me. Maybe it's a warning for this pick. Pantoja at 35, I think he's at the top of his game. He's going to be a hard guy to beat. Finds a way to win, push through adversity, keep people on the ground, pushes through being tired. And Joshua Van has been finished before by Johnson. It's a while ago. He's learned a lot from that lesson. I think Joshua Van beat Raw Dog Roval, but I think he beat him in the last 7 seconds of that fight. Pick is going to be Pantoja. It's hard to bet against the champ. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win by submission. Pantoja. Main event. Merab Dvalishvilli versus Peter Yan. Dvalishvilli, 5'6", 68-inch reach, 21 wins, 4 losses, 34 years old. Peter Yan, 5'7", 67-inch reach, 19 wins, 5 losses, 32 years old. They're both at the top of their game. I mean, at first I wanted to pick Yan as a dog shot. I watched the fight again. I watched Dvalishvilli fight against Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov lost his fight in the last 2 minutes of the third round because he was winning the fight until that point in the third round. If he had just been able to push through the being tired, he could have taken that round and won the decision. It was a close fight. And of course, Dvalishvilli is going to win the 4th and 5th round. He's going to win the 4th and 5th round against Yan. Yan starts off slow, so my quick question mark is if he starts off slow and loses the first round, which rounds is he going to win? 2nd and 3rd round. Even though I want to pick Yan, I just see the decision going to Dvalishvilli. So Dvalishvilli by decision. Because I don't see Yan knocking him out. Yan's got to start off fast and win that first round. If Yan wins the first round, there's a chance. And it's going to be pay attention to the 3rd round, the second half of the 3rd round. Because Yan's going to win the first half. Yeah, kind of like Nurmagomedov. But I think Nurmagomedov had more weapons than Yan. Even though Yan's been training his butt off. So you never know. He might come back just good enough. But Dvalishvilli by decision is going to be the pick. Thank you for joining me. By the way, this is not financial advice. Pick what you can only, or bet what you can only afford to lose. Take my picks and combine them with your own research and see if you can make a winning card on this one. Hopefully I've helped you with a few picks and a few decisions. Otherwise, good luck on your bets. Enjoy the fights. Thank you very much for joining me. Hit the like button if you like the content. I'm trying to make as many videos as I can, but I'm just for sure trying to make the main events, the pay-per-views, which I've been doing. Hopefully I can get a few more in there. But otherwise, good luck in the fights. Thank you for joining me. Hit the like button, hit subscribe if you want to be notified next time I make more content. And we will see you next time.